Hi guys. So I got a tag from Wampire on Old School Boxing. Okay. The only connection that I have myself to Old School Boxing is from my grandfather, and I am third generation Polish and Austrian descent. Literally what happened is when World War I came out, both my grandfather's side of the family and my grandmother's side of the family were basically both ousted out of their lands as a direct result of World War I. That's what caused them to come to America. So that kind of changes things a little bit. What happened is after World War I had happened, during that time, they came to America, they started school, their families got them into school, and they met each other in school. Well, they ended up marrying and everything like that. And they were maybe 18 and 20, I believe, when the Great Depression happened. Pa could not find work because of the Depression. So what he ended up having to do is he ended up having to go up to northern Wisconsin. At the time they were living in the southern part. They ended up having to go up to the northern part of Wisconsin to find a logging camp so that he could find work. And for about 10 years he was a logger and lumberjack, and basically that's what he did. Now then, what they would do for entertainment and fun is they would box, and they would use old school boxing as their style because, well, that's the only way that they knew. Of course, logging camp boxing would be quite a bit different than ring boxing because, well, in a ring, of course, you have rules. If you're in a logging camp, rules are kind of subjective, and that's the nice way of putting it. So, you know, they would drink and fight, fight and drink. So that's basically what they did. Of course, meanwhile, Ma is in the shack that Pa was able to afford for them. And the shack literally had a dirt floor, and you can only imagine the very harsh winters in northern Wisconsin. And they were they were almost right on the border of Canada, basically. They were way up, right at Lake Superior. I mean, they were up there. And it was in that shack that Ma bore him 3 sons. Later on, Pa got a job working at General Motors down there in the southern part, and then the family moved back, and then they actually had a decent life after that. But up until that point, that's what Pa did. So that's pretty much the most the closest connection I have to it. For a lot of the technical aspects and stuff, Primal Punch did a great video on that, and I can't even begin to approach his level of knowledge and expertise on that, so I'm not even going to attempt to. I'm just going to kind of give you guys a pointer. Go to Primal Punch and do his and listen and learn from him, because really boxing is not my style. It's a style. It's not a study. It's not a style that I've studied. Had I studied it, could I have picked it up? Probably, but it's just not my style. So, you know, we kind of go to the war with the tools the gods give us, and well, boxing was not in my tool bag. So I had other styles, and that's what I use. But that's my connection to it. There you have it. I will say that the proceeds that Pa would get from a lot of the fights, because of course they were bet on, did help Ma and the family out quite a bit, because Pa was very, very good as a boxer. I mean, he was very good. But at the same time, you still had to be careful. Otherwise, if you broke your hands or you took too much damage the night prior to, you couldn't work very well. And if you couldn't work well, then you end up having the hungry wife and the hungry kids, and that becomes an issue. So anyway, but that's kind of the stock that I come from. So thank you. I appreciate your comments. I appreciate your views. I appreciate your time. Defend your homes wisely.